Hey guys, good to see you again. So last week I told you I would tell you this week about a story when I was awakened in the middle of the night by someone hitting me in the head, straight in the back of the head. Well, you know what? It really happened. I was in my bed, I wasn't bothering anyone, I was soundly sleeping, and I got hit in the back of the head. You know by who? Well, by my dear wife, of any people. She was actually dreaming that she was having a fight with her own sister, and she was so mad at her that when her sister leaned down, she was about to hit her right in the bum, but actually that was my head that she really did hit hard, and it hurt me, and she even hurt her wrist doing it. So anyway, yeah, it's can be very crazy nights here at our place. But it's a true story. It really happened. And I to this day, I sleep with a pillow on this side in between me and her, just in case, you know. But I wanted to share this funny, goofy story because it reminds me of one story that Jesus shared about another guy who was got awakened in the middle of the night at midnight, and that's in Luke chapter 11, verse 5. And yeah, and we're continuing to talk about prayer in those tough and weird times of the pandemic. It's an amazing opportunity to grow. And if you and I want to know God, the first way is through reading scripture and praying, conversing with God. And so this is what Jesus says. He also said to them, that's Luke chapter 11, verse 5, suppose one of you has a friend and goes to him at midnight and says to him, friend, lend me 3 loaves of bread, because a friend of mine on a journey has come to me and I don't have anything to offer him. Then he will answer from inside and say, don't bother me. The door's already locked and my children and I have gone to bed. I can't get up to give you anything. I tell you, even though he won't get up and give him anything because he is his friend, yet because of his friend's shameless boldness, he will get up and give him as much as he needs. So I say to you, says Jesus, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks the door will be opened. Last week we talked about praying as asking for our needs like a child asks his father. Remember, des barbouillettes, like my son. But this week we're talking about prayer as asking for someone else, intercession. Notice that the man who came knocking at midnight was asking for bread for his friends. He wasn't asking bread for himself. He wasn't bothering his friend for his own needs, but for his friend's needs who had just arrived at midnight. If they arrived at midnight, in a time where there was no lighting in the streets, you had no cell phone, it must have been because his friends got lost or something bad happened. Anyway, they were in need of food. They were in need of comfort. And so this friend has taken his friend's needs to heart and is asking this baker, friend of his or neighbor, I don't know, I need bread. And he's asking relentlessly, he with shameless boldness, it reads. And Jesus is saying, this is the way you should ask for your friend's needs, with shameless boldness. When you see someone suffering, ask God to intervene. And so I just want to challenge you, think around you. Who is in a hard time? Who is suffering? Who is having difficulty with, maybe with quarantine, maybe with money issues? Maybe your brothers and sisters, maybe a relative who's shut down at home. I don't know. Whoever. How about we note it down in our journal and we actually ask with shameless boldness to God, for God to answer this person's need. The reason Jesus is sharing this story is not to say that God is like a baker who doesn't want to be bothered, but it's actually the opposite. It's a contrast. He's saying, if that baker didn't want to be bothered, but still gave bread to his friend, how much more will our good Father heed our intercession for someone else's needs? So think about someone, and let's go to God in prayer, and let's ask with shameless boldness. I challenge you to do that tonight. Okay, see you next week. And next week we're going to talk about the most famous prayers of all. And I don't have any stories to share right now, but you'll have one next week. Okay, bye.